Have you ever watched an NBA player with insane potential only to see their career crash and burn out of nowhere? Today, we're diving into the untold stories of lost NBA players, the ones who had all the talent but somehow faded away. From brutal injuries to personal struggles, these guys were supposed to be legends. Let's find out what really happened to these once promising stars and where they are now. Starting with Greg Oden, the first overall pick in the 2007 NBA Draft. Famously chosen by the Portland Trail Blazers ahead of Kevin Durant, Oden was supposed to be a franchise-changing center. But before he could even step on the court, his rookie season was wiped out by microfracture surgery on his right knee. When he finally debuted in 2008, he showed flashes of brilliance, like a 24-point, 15-rebound game, but injuries kept derailing his progress. A fractured left patella in 2009 ended his season after just 21 games. After being waived by the Blazers, Oden signed with the Miami Heat in 2013, playing 23 games and even making it to the NBA Finals. But by 2016, after a brief stint in China, he retired. Off the court, Oden has been open about his struggles with alcoholism and the emotional toll of his injuries. Today, he's rebuilding his life in basketball, most recently as an assistant coach at Butler University. Greg Oden's story is a reminder of how quickly promise can be overshadowed by adversity. Next up, Victor Oladipo. Drafted second overall in 2013 by the Orlando Magic, Oladipo quickly made a name for himself as a dynamic two-way player. His breakout came with the Indiana Pacers, where he earned All-NBA third-team honors in 2018 and became a fan favorite. But in 2019, disaster struck. A ruptured quad tendon sidelined him for over a year, and he struggled to regain his all-star form since. After stints with the Rockets and Heat, Oladipo re-signed on a 2-year deal with Miami in 2022 in an attempt and jumpstart his career. However, injuries continued to haunt him, and the Memphis Grizzlies waived him back in February of 2024, likely putting an end to his playing career. Off the court, Oladipo has dipped his toes into sports analysis with ESPN, hinting at a potential post-playing career. At 31, he's still young enough to be putting up numbers in the league, but it seems like his body has betrayed him to the point where he needs to hang up his sneakers forever. Moving on to Royce White, whose story is a mix of brilliance and heartbreak. Drafted 16th overall by the Houston Rockets in 2012, White was a standout prospect with size, skill, and versatility, with a similar build to LeBron James at 6'7" and 270 pounds. But his career was derailed by anxiety and a fear of flying, which led to a public dispute with the Rockets over travel accommodations. After refusing to fly and missing training camp, White was traded to the 76ers, but never played a game for them. He briefly appeared in 3 games with the Sacramento Kings in 2014, but his NBA career ended soon after. Since then, White has found success in leagues like the NBL Canada, where he won an MVP and a championship, and the Big Three. His journey highlights the challenges of mental health in professional sports, and the reality that all the talent in the world sometimes still isn't enough. Athletes are human beings and will never really know what goes on behind closed doors. Brandon Roy's career is one of the most heartbreaking what-ifs in NBA history. Drafted 6th overall by the Portland Trail Blazers in 2006, Roy quickly became a star, winning Rookie of the Year and earning 3 All-Star selections. Known for his clutch performances, smooth scoring, and game-winning shots, he was the face of the Blazers' resurgence in the late 2000s. Sadly, chronic knee injuries, stemming from his college days, began to take their toll. By 2011, his knees had deteriorated so badly that he retired at just 27 years old. He attempted a brief comeback with the Minnesota Timberwolves in 2012, but retired again after 1 season. B-Roy was on track to earn himself a spot in the NBA Hall of Fame and made over $90 million throughout his shortened career. He's confirmed he misses the game badly, but is still connected to the Blazers franchise, having served as the team's representative at the NBA Draft Lottery. Today, Roy is the head coach at Garfield High School in Seattle, giving back to the game that once defined him. Next comes Michael Ray Richardson, nicknamed Sugar, who was one of the most electrifying players of the late 70s and early 80s. Drafted 4th overall by the New York Knicks in 1978, Richardson was a defensive maestro and a playmaking wizard. In just his second season, he became the 3rd player in NBA history to lead the league in both assists and steals. A 4-time All-Star and 2-time All-Defensive first-team selection, Richardson's career was on a Hall of Fame trajectory, but his struggles with cocaine addiction derailed everything. After multiple violations of the NBA's substance abuse policy, he was banned for life in 1986. Post-NBA, Richardson found redemption through coaching in leagues like the CBA and NBL Canada. His story serves as a cautionary tale of talent overshadowed by personal demons and distractions that can happen off the court. Robert Swift's NBA career started with promise, but ended in turmoil. Drafted 12th overall by the Seattle Supersonics in 2004, the 7'1" center showed flashes of potential, but injuries, including a ruptured ACL and torn meniscus, cut his career short. By 2009, he was out of the league. Off the court, Swift's life spiraled. He battled depression and addiction to heroin, meth, and cocaine, leading to financial ruin and legal troubles, including an arrest. But Swift didn't let this define him. He picked himself up and continued to fight back and chase his basketball dreams. In 2018, he made a comeback, playing for a 5th division team in Spain while rebuilding his life and reconnecting with his family. Swift's story is one of resilience. Even in the darkest times, there's hope for redemption. Caleb Swanigan's NBA journey was brief, but impactful. Drafted 26th overall by the Portland Trail Blazers in 2017, the 6'9" forward brought toughness and rebounding to the court. Despite his potential, Swanigan struggled to secure a steady role, bouncing between the Blazers and Sacramento Kings over 3 seasons. His career averages, 2.3 points and 2.9 rebounds, don't tell the full story of his determination to overcome adversity, including a challenging upbringing. Weight was a limiting factor as a child, and he ballooned to nearly 400 pounds in the 8th grade before he was adopted and his life stabilized. While in college, Swanigan was able to carry a svelte 260-pound frame to success at Purdue and maintained that weight while in the NBA. But when Swanigan stepped away from the NBA in 2020, his bad habits and lack of structure from his youth helped his weight balloon back up to 350 pounds, and in June 2022, tragedy struck. He passed away at just 25 years old due to natural causes, leaving the basketball community in mourning. Swanigan's story is a reminder of how fleeting life and opportunity can be, and how different your life can be if you change your environment, structure, and systems. Joe Alexander's NBA career is a reminder that not every high draft pick finds success. Selected 8th overall by the Milwaukee Bucks in 2008, Alexander was an athletic freak out of West Virginia University who put the league on notice at the NBA Combine. But his time in the league was short-lived as he struggled to carve out a consistent role, averaging just 4.7 points over 2 seasons with the Bucks and Bulls. Leaving the NBA, Alexander took his talents overseas, playing in Russia, Israel, and Italy. Injuries, including a stress fracture in his tibia, further complicated his journey, but he continued to play professionally for years. While his NBA career didn't meet the lofty expectations he created in college, Alexander's persistence in staying connected to the game highlights his resilience and love for basketball, The challenges of transitioning from college to the pros are real, and even the most gifted of athletes don't always have the intangibles to carve out a lengthy career. The next NBA journey is one of the most puzzling in recent memory. Anthony Bennett was surprisingly drafted first overall by the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2013. Bennett was the first Canadian ever selected first overall and entered the league with immense expectations. But his rookie season was a disaster, averaging just 4.2 points and 3.0 rebounds. He became one of the least productive top picks in NBA history. Bennett bounced around the league, playing for the Timberwolves, Raptors, Nets, and Rockets, but he never found his footing. Weight and conditioning issues further hindered his progress, and by 2019, his NBA career was over after being waived by the Rockets. These days, Bennett continues to play professionally overseas, most recently in Taiwan, staying connected to the game he loves, despite the reality that he could be the worst first overall pick of all time. During his NBA career, Delonte West was known as a hard-nosed lefty who could do a bit of everything: score, defend, and facilitate. He played for teams like the Celtics, Cavaliers, and Mavericks, carving out a role as a reliable role player. But behind the scenes, West was battling something much bigger: bipolar disorder. Diagnosed in 2008, West's mental health struggles began to take a toll when he got to the league. After being cut by the Mavericks in 2012, his life took a downward spiral. He faced homelessness, addiction, and financial ruin, with photos of him on the streets sparking concern across the basketball community. Mavericks owner Mark Cuban stepped in, helping West get into rehab and offering support. West found a new role working at a therapy center in Florida, focusing on his recovery and helping others. However, more recently, he seems to have reverted back to some form of substance abuse. Mental health is a huge piece of being a professional athlete, and sometimes players need a second or third chance to prove that they can turn things around. Hopefully, Delonte West finds the strength to try and rebuild his life one more time. And that's it. These stories show the human side of the NBA and the triumphs and struggles all players experience. From Greg Oden's injuries to Delonte West's ongoing journey, each player had to work through challenges in their life, on and off the court. Let us know in the comments which story resonated with you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more basketball content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.